He's doing an autograph. Give me 1 second. So make sure you have your phones out, guys. This is going to be one heck of a speech. Thank you very much. Long time no see. Let me tell you something about lockdowns. I'm an expert on lockdowns. Lockdowns suck.
Yes, they do.
I've been locked down, locked out, locked in, and they suck. But it's so nice to be back, and I want to thank all of you for being out here and fighting for your freedom. I know something about losing freedom. And since I have you all here, I'll take 2 seconds just to tell you, I want you to know, I've said it all along and I'll never stop saying it because it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I didn't break a single fucking law. I didn't cross a single line. It was all politics. We talked about routine political things, the kinds of things Dick Durbin does all the time, the kinds of things Governor Pritzker does all the time. Routine political stuff. And I wouldn't say the things they wanted me to say. I would never give in. I fought back. So they threw my ass in prison for 14 years. But lo and behold, 8 years into that wretched journey, President Trump, God bless him, President Trump, a Republican president, reached in to rescue me, a Democratic governor, restore my freedom, and reunite me with my 2 daughters and my wife, Patty. And for that, the 4 of us will forever be grateful to President Trump. And to those of you who are men and women who are members of the police force and the firefighters, thank you very much for everything you do for us. Thank you for serving us and protecting us. Thank you for fighting against the bad people who would hurt us. Let me tell you something about what it's like to shelter in place for 8 years in a faraway place. If I didn't think that they were protected, because I wasn't there to keep them safe. But we knew, and I knew, because I would ask Patty when something would happen in the neighborhood, where there would be a shooting in our area, Albany Park, not far from where we live, right on the other side of Sacramento. And there'd be a shooting, and Patty would tell me, and I'd say, well, did you call the police? Isn't that what we do? We call the police. And because of them, the 17th District police officers in particular, I want to express my most profound gratitude to them for keeping my family safe while I was gone, while I was in exile. Thank you. You know, when I think of the men and women in our police department, I think of the firefighters. You know how I think about them? I think about 9/11. I remember vividly those images when all of those people were trying to run out of those Twin Towers before those buildings collapsed. It was police officers and firefighters who were running up those buildings to help those people get out of those buildings. And 71 police officers lost their lives on 9/11, and 343 firefighters lost their lives on 9/11. And it's a darn shame that my Democratic Party has run away from the police, have run away from the firefighters, because they're chicken shit cowards afraid to stand up for the people who keep us safe. What about Dick Durbin? Are you kidding me? What about that fence straddler? Dick Durbin straddles the fence so much his balls must hurt. I ain't running for nothing. I can talk like this, right? I hope you don't mind. Thank you. Oh, God bless you. You're beautiful. Thank you. I know Durbin. I know how he and today's Democratic Party have sold out working people. By the way, that's another thing you learn when you're forced to shelter in place like I was for 8 long years. You know what you learn? You ain't so great. You know what? The world just keeps spinning around. It don't matter whether you're in it or not. They take you out of the world. That world keeps moving. And then when you get back home, holy cow, have things changed. And holy cow, has the Democratic Party changed. This is not the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy. This is not the Democratic Party of Richard J. Daley. This is not the Democratic Party of Richard M. Daley. This ain't the Democratic Party I was a congressman of for 6 years, governor of for 6 years. This Democratic Party is the party of Wall Street, the big corporate media, the Silicon Valley, and socialists. Socialists who want to take away the tax cuts this man gave you. Socialists. This Democratic Party doesn't stand up for the police like the Democratic Party I was a member of. The Democratic Party of Joe Biden and Dick Durbin sold out jobs when they supported NAFTA, outsourcing good-paying factory jobs. The Maytag plant's not in Galesburg, Illinois anymore because Dick Durbin voted for NAFTA. It's not in places like Danville or Decatur, all across middle and downstate Illinois, even here in Chicago, all the factories that were closed because of those economic policies that back the big corporations at the expense of working people. We're supposed to be the party that looks after the little guy. We're supposed to be the party that looks after factory workers like my immigrant father and my working mother. But the Democratic Party today has left, but we have a new leader. This is why. This is why I'm a Trumpocrat, a Democrat for Trump. Because he's remaking the Republican Party. That Republican Party's not Mitt Romney's Republican Party. Not the Republican Party of George Bush, the corporate party. This is the guy who's actually on the side of the working men and women of our country, backing our police officers and our firefighters, and standing up for all the men and women who do the work in our country and make this country the great country that it is, notwithstanding or in spite of the difficulty. So you know what I'm doing as a Democrat? I'm splitting my ticket. And I'm asking all of you, those of you who are my fellow Democrats out there, to do what I'm doing. Split your ticket. Vote for President Trump. And I like Mr. Kern. I wish you all the best. I'm for Dr. Willie Wilson. He's a good man with a good heart, cares about people. 27 million masks during the pandemic. He's a nice man. Dr. Wilson's a good man. I'm voting for Iris Martinez for clerk of the circuit court. And by the way, if Tom Dart, your homeboy from Mount Greenwood, my former roommate, well, he's not on this ballot. I'd vote for him if he were running this time around. All right, we can agree on President Trump. And who?
Billy Dart.
What's her name?
Billy Dart.
Oh, is Billy Dart running? Oh. Good man. I know the Dart family. I was at their home, their parents, mom and dad. Tom Dart and I were state reps together a long, long time ago. Anyway, let's talk about the governor. Not me, but the one that's there now. Governor Pritzker. He's playing pandemic politics. You ought to stop playing politics with the pandemic. End this lockdown. You're hurting people. You're crushing small business. Governor Pritzker, with all due respect, stop bringing the heavy weight of the governor's office on the backs of small businesses, and the weight of the governor's office, especially with this governor, that's a heavy weight, and he's putting it on the backs of small business. Lift it up. You know, there's an old saying, an old African proverb that says when an elephant steps on the tail of a mouse, the mouse doesn't appreciate it. Governor Pritzker's lockdown is crushing our businesses. And so I would say to our governor, with all respect, Governor Pritzker, you've had the good fortune of being born a billionaire. I could see Governor Pritzker as a little baby. There he is in that baby carriage. A cute baby, chubby cheeks. In his right hand, a little teaspoon, eating applesauce. Applesauce all over his bib and on his face. In his left hand, he's holding a rattle and shaking it. But the rattle was made of gold and of platinum. And so maybe it's unfair of us, Governor Pritzker, to expect you to understand the struggles of everyday people. Maybe it's unfair of us to expect that you would understand what it's like to need a job, what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, just to make ends meet, to know what it's like to have to have to get a job, to have to go to work every day, to put food on the table so you can provide for your family. Governor Pritzker, my message to you is your lockdown is hurting people. You're taking their livelihoods away. You're multiplying their worries. You are thwarting their hopes. Stop destroying our businesses. Stop hurting working people. If you're not going to help us, don't hurt us. Governor Pritzker, my message to you is end this lockdown. Open up the state of Illinois. And one last thing. One last thing. I'd like to wish you all the best and leave you with a few lines from a timeless Irish prayer. Here's my hope for all of you and for our president. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. God bless you. And don't forget Tom McCullough for state